Let's talk to the president's attorney, Alina Habba. Welcome to the Greg Kelly Reports show.
How are you? Thank you for having me.
I got to ask you, because we only got to know each other after the deep state went insane, what kind of training have you had? Because you make it look just so easy. You walk up to the insane lying press and you just, you just have no podium, no teleprompter, and you just crush them. How do you make it look so easy, Alina?
Patriotism. I think it's the same thing that you suffer from, right? We love our country. And I haven't had any training. PR is not my thing. I'm a lawyer. But I'm passionate about the president getting back to business and cleaning up our country. And when you have passion for anything and you have the facts on your side, I think it's relatively easy to speak from the heart and to speak honestly and eloquently. I'm not a very fearful person. I always say the opposite of fear is faith. And I have faith in our country getting back on track, but I know we can't do it under this regime and things have to change. So I hope I can do my part by representing the president through this absolutely crazy witch hunts. That is all that they are. The facts are good facts. And if there was law and order and if judges started applying law to the actual facts, they would see that he has done absolutely nothing wrong. The only thing that's going wrong is these Soros-backed AGs and DAs that are trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah. I'm happy to suffer very seriously from the disease of patriotism along with you. Somebody else who does is a good friend of mine, Natalie Winters, and I have to give her a hat tip because she posted this video today, and I want all patriots to see this. The organization behind the Colorado expunging of President Trump's name on the GOP ballot is something called Citizens for Ethics. The left, these ironic names, they always label their thing as the opposite of what they are. The founder for that is one Melanie Sloan, and Natalie Phillips found this C-SPAN interview with Melanie Sloan, who reveals who one of her former bosses was, and everybody needs to know the truth.
Who are some of the biggest donors you have, and is there a restriction on how much money they can give you?
We don't have any restriction, but I would say our biggest donors are, for example, the Open Society Institute is a very big donor.
And whose organization is that?
Well, it's a foundation, but it's well known to be George Soros is the one who funds it.
It's crazy.
George Soros. She used to work for, who you just said. And then the clip went on to say that she herself had worked for none other than Senator Joe Biden. I presume you're not surprised that the person behind this ballot expungement worked for the current incumbent of the White House, Alina.
No, I mean, we haven't spoken about this before I came on tonight, and I just said this is exactly the problem. These Soros-backed DAs and AGs, if you dig, and you don't have to dig deep, folks, these are public records. You can look at who is funding this. It is one funding after another by people that are Soros-backed. Reid Hoffman, another gentleman that loves to fund litigation against the president and is funneling any kind of backing. This is what they do. They can't stop him in the polls, so they're trying to stop him with these judges and these AGs and DAs that have political motivations. You can't forget, they are put in by constituents. They're not doing right by their constituents, but they're trying to make them happy. Letitia James ran on getting Trump, hadn't seen a page in the Trump Organization's books, but just was determined, there she is, absolutely determined to take him down at any cost. Why? Because the Trump name gets you votes, whether you're for him or against him. He is an epic individual. And this is really political motivation and lawfare. I've said it a million times, but it's why, you go back to what you asked me. It's why I fight so hard. It's why I get angry outside the courtrooms. America needs a window into what's actually happening and what I'm seeing. And it's incredibly corrupt. It's very scary.
I'm going to use that phrase in the future. I like that description for my former boss, epic individual. You mentioned Jack Smith. Let's look at this insane man's latest attempt to use the law illegally as a tool of persecution. The Supreme Court has stayed that action for several months. Now he has put in a motion to ban several topics from coming out of the mouth of your client, President Trump. So on a case about January the 6th, President Trump is not allowed to discuss what departments of the U.S. government did to prepare for January 6th, whether there were undercover agents in the crowd, whether there was any foreign influence concerning the riots, and he's not allowed to cross-examine witnesses who have quote-unquote government privileges. Alina, it sounds to me as if Jack Smith is running scared.
Yeah, this is called a due process violation. They do it in the form of a gag order. He should be scared. He doesn't want basically any defense being brought by the defense. It's what happened with the last trial I tried. It's what will happen with the next one I try. These judges will gag you. They will try and use his popularity and his voice as a way to work against us and the American people so that people cannot hear the truth. That whole list is the defense. That's saying you cannot put your own defense on.
Yeah.
That's like saying you can't have an expert on the Letitia James case or gagging his lawyers, which has happened to me. You can't. I was gagged in the courtroom. Imagine, Sebastian, in the courtroom, I could not put on a defense on the record for the appellate division. I couldn't say things that needed to be said. That is what our country has come to. And Jack Smith is running scared because he has no case. We've seen what's happened. He tried to rush to the Supreme Court. They said, no, you're going to go through this the normal way. You are not going to rush this because there is no urgency. The only urgency that Jack Smith has, and all of them have, is election interference and trying to stop him before November 2024, which clearly they cannot do. If you look at the polls, the American people, the independents are switching because they see what is happening and they're afraid.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Chairman Comer today, breaking news, has released a letter asking the question whether the president, the incumbent, coordinated with his son concerning the upcoming impeachment inquiry. I'm not sure if a letter is going to make a difference, but we have you on the front lines and a handful of other attorneys. We had Jesse Bernal on the show yesterday. My former White House colleague and friend, of course, Boris Epstein, is also attorney for the president. I've got to ask you a question just to wrap up here that maybe it's too personal, but why is it in a nation, what is it Shakespeare said, kill the lawyers first? We've got so many of them. In a nation of, I don't know, millions of lawyers, why are there so few who believe in the truth and the law and are prepared to do what you do? Do you have any theory about that, Alina?
Yeah, I think that what we've seen is a chilling effect with lawyers in particular and creating a lack of the Sixth Amendment right to counsel, because what they do is say, if you represent Trump, if you represent somebody that we're opposed to, we're going to actually take resources and attack your law degree. We're going to take your license away from you. We've seen it happen to people that it should happen to, but then we've seen people that have done absolutely nothing wrong, have their homes searched, have the FBI show up. That's what they do. It's a form of intimidation. I could just say for myself and for anybody that has a degree, our job is to be zealous advocates. And it's not about what side of the coin you're on. It's not about being a Republican or a Democrat. It's about being an American and being a lawyer. And we better use our degrees to make sure our country still has a constitution and still has lawyers and judges that do the right thing. So it's time to get brazen as an attorney. I think you have to be. You have to be strong, especially now, and especially if you're in the world that I'm in. So I'm not going to back down. I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of President Trump and his resilience, and I think he sets a really good example for the attorneys that stand by him.
It's time to get brazen and be more epic, like a certain epic individual we know from Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. We salute you, Alina Habba, for your commitment to the truth, for the rule of law in America. God bless you. Keep doing what you do. We need more like you. And give our regards to President Trump.